welcome back to the Hag Reads. I am coming at you today with a library haul video. I don't buy a lot of books. I think I read a little bit differently than probably most people on here. Because I have a limited budget, I check out from the library and read most of my books that way, and then I decide which ones I really want to own through reading from the library. That way I'm not buying lots of books, which I can't really afford, and then being disappointed in them or realizing that I would probably never read them again. Yes, books do have a resale value, and that's, a good way to earn some of your money back. But the best way is to figure out what you like, in my opinion, is to figure out what you like and buy the books that you like. Typically, the only books I will buy, having not already read them, are nonfiction titles and books in the kind of fairy tale retelling area, although not exclusively. I will often buy a short story collection by a specific editor because I've had something in the past that was good from them. But generally speaking, if I haven't already read it, I'm highly unlikely to buy it if I have not already read it from the library. So that's how I kind of go about my reading, is I'll pick up a bunch of stuff from the library and read through it, and I will buy the things that I really liked the best. Recently, though, in the last 5 years or so, that hasn't been a whole lot, simply because the money isn't there even to just buy books that I really like. So I have a list of books that I will be slowly working on purchasing because I really, really enjoyed them. I would read them again, I would recommend them to others, and I would just like to have them in my own house library. So what I picked up from the library this week includes this one, Dead of Night by Jonathan Maberry. And this is the book one of the Dead of Night series. And the premise for this is that a doctor injects a condemned serial killer with a formula that's designed to keep the consciousness awake in the body while it rots after execution. And then I think it typically goes from the shit goes wrong and mayhem ensues. It is, the genre for this is zombie apocalyptic. So, interesting to see where they go with that idea. I got 9 books out, and so that was the first one, and then the next two are This Dark Endeavor and Such Wicked Intent by Kenneth Oppel. These, I don't know, I know almost nothing about them. I saw them on somebody else's, either a TBR or a haul, and they talked about it as a Frankenstein retelling, and so I was all in. The last series of books I remember reading that involved Frankenstein outside of the original would have been the ones by Dean Koontz, which was a 4-book series, and I remember enjoying reading it, and then when I went back to look to make sure who the author was, apparently there was a 5th book published in 2011, so I'm thinking there may be a reread of that on the horizon. I want to check and see if I can get it digitally through my library, and if it's as enjoyable as I remember, I might purchase it. I think it only ever came out as a mass market paperback, and I would be okay with that if I could maybe pick it up secondhand or as an ebook. After that, I am on kind of a nostalgia kick right now. I don't actually know if I have read this book. It's The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. I know I've seen the 1970s or early 80s movie by the same name, and I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember the red decontamination rooms where they were going through to get to the lowest level. That's the part I remember the most. But I thought, go ahead and give it a try. I also requested from my library and received The Lost World. I am still waiting for Jurassic Park, so I was just going to do a little Michael Crichton reading because outside of possibly having read Andromeda Strain before, I have never read any Michael Crichton, and I thought I might give it a go. But I was on there looking for those books, and of course The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle came up, and I couldn't resist, so I requested that as well. And then I got the next Hardy Boy and Nancy Drew books. I had in my last haul, which was more than a month ago, I had requested 5 Nancy Drew books and 2 Hardy Boys books, and they just sat around, so I just thought I would request one at a time, and I'm sure that will probably mean that I go through them like that. The last book that I picked up is The Year of Living Virtuously by Teresa Jordan, and I had requested this before, and it sat around in the house for all 6 renewal periods, and I had just never gotten around to it. And I kept thinking, why did I want to read that book? And I'd have to go look at the description and go, oh, yeah. This one is, I think it's kind of like journal entries and her talking about this project she undertook based on some of Ben Franklin's life, and a thing that he did where he tried to live a virtuous life based on a list of virtues, and while he didn't succeed in doing so exclusively, he kind of held these as, I think, the principles that he tried to live by. And so she takes one a week and tries to incorporate them into her life, or to explore them exclusively, I think. I'm not really sure. I didn't go into depth of just like, I remember that I had this out before, and I hate not having read a book that I had in my hands, so I feel compelled to give it another shot. And that's the last book that I had out this week. I do have a number of other things. So for over the weekend, I want to try and get to the book I won on Goodreads, the 4,000 Miles with the Young Man Who Walked Across the United States. I have several fiction books that are coming up due. I don't have the titles handy, so I have like 3 of those. They're coming up due in the next week or so, so I just need to put a push on those. And that's about all I have for today, and I will see you guys again on Monday. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. Happy whatever time of day it is for you. I know for a lot of you working, this is your Friday. If it's not your Friday, I'm sorry. And have a great, great weekend. Bye.